My neighbor called me a B for turning my music louder because I can hear everything when they are having says. My neighbors upstairs have very vigorous says. That's fine, you do you honey? My issue is that we live in an old block and I can hear everything. I have worn headphones in the past and just accept it because we're in lockdowns and we all gotta get along, and who am I to dampen their fun? They don't block completely, and to do so they have to be uncomfortably loud. Recently, because I wear my headphones all day for meetings and I have a headache from them pinching, I've just started playing music on my speaker instead. I turn it up to 50%, and while it doesn't drown this out, it helps instead of hearing those bed springs and moans etc. etc. Lately they've been doing it a lot. What else you gonna do in lockdown, am I right? I have other noise issues with them. They play music all day and very loud to the point my work meetings are a bit painful for people meeting me as the noise carries, too, but assume it goes both ways and I am really not trying to cause issues with them. My neighbor knocked earlier today and said that they'd appreciate if I can keep my music down. I only play it on speaker when they're having says, and said it was only at that level for my own comfort, as otherwise I can hear everything and I feel like it gives me some space and them some level of privacy, as much as I can provide short of leaving the building. He got a bit heated about it, saying that it was an issue and said I was a B. I said it was reasonable to ask, but that they need to respect that I live here too, and I've been very accommodating in terms of noise levels. Ida for playing music when they're doing their thing? So NTA. If they're gonna amp you can pump up the volume. NTA. But since I am an I'd probably play Bolero every CZ time, on repeat, until they're finished. This is what I played against my walls in college for loud says or loud video games, worked pretty well and I got a kick out of it. Czech punk music was not what my early 2000s peers expected as says soundtrack, I imagine. Link. Play Baby Shark on repeat. In college me and my roommate would set Marvin Gaye on repeat, lock our door and leave when our other roommate brought his girlfriend over to have what became inevitable says. He and his girlfriend got a kick out of it, eventually. I know this is a stressful time and you're frustrated with the noise, and now you have this confrontation issue with your neighbor that's given you an additional worry. There is only one thing you can do to fix all of this. No, you're not going to like it, but it's the truth and you need to hear it. Yes, it pains me just as much to have to type this out. You have to outmoan them. For every moan you hear you have to echo it 10 times louder. For every spring creak I want you to do a backflip on your bed. If she hits a high note you better pull out your inner Mariah Carey and whistle your heart out. Alternatively, if you're not comfortable making those noises yourself, you can download Talking Tom the Cat on the App Store and attach your phone to the ceiling with the app open while they do their activities. I'm sorry you had to read that, but it had to be done. Take a poor man's gold for that winning comment, smiley face, thumbs up, sports medal. My husband tried the music thing with the neighbors. Before we met, it didn't work. He tried talking to them, that didn't work either. So then he started yelling encouragement. Example, yeah, you're getting her good, she does like it just like that, woo woo, you get that game, etc. They stopped being loud at 2 a.m. when he had to be up at 5 very quickly. Narrate the entire thing like you're narrating a ball game. Sorry, I don't know the terms. I'm not a sports baller person, lol. What showmanship? This move here is a risky one, can he pull it off? I haven't seen a game like this since 1995, Jerry. Etc. Somebody who's funnier and more creative than me, please add on some better lines, haha. If he keeps that up, he's gonna take 2 strokes off his game. Oh. That's a red flag for poor ball handling. Yes. That was from my hubby, by the way. NTA. Get a bullhorn and start making comments about their fun times. And what an epic move by Randy Neighbor 01 as they both race to the finish line. Here's hoping Neighbor 02 gets to finish first at least once in this tenancy. I'll work on my sports commentator impressions. Smile, you don't even need the bullhorn. Just talk about them loud enough that they can hear. Pretend you're on a work call. Sorry everyone, the walls are thin and you're hearing my neighbors have says. Yes, they tend to be a little rambunctious. No, they don't tend to last very long. That last sentence though. Boom. Roasted. NTA. If this was my scenario, I will not lie, I have a list of music to end the mood instantly for this reason stated, as my former roommate used to bring in loud partners when I had to sleep for overnight shifts. Don't be petty like I was, just keep doing and inform your leasing agency or landlord so there is reasoning as to the noise complaints you may receive in the future. Also, if you are within noise ordinance for your area, there is nothing they can legally do. Edit. Grammar. Thanks Leafburn, English is weird. Gotta know, what was on the list? Did the Star Spangled Banner make it on the list? Mariachi bands? Polka, seriously. Please tell. I also would like to know. For research purposes, smile really though, thanks for the advice. I try not to play anything that's crazy or going to kill the mood, or enhance it either. I just thought I was being a bro by playing something to stop the noise and springs from haunting me before I sleep, or sometimes I wake up to it. Lonely Island, I just had says. And it felt so good, felt so good. This song popped in my head every time they did it initially, smiley face. I don't understand why my GF would go back to her ex. He's so spiteful and an awful person, and I was nothing but supportive. So a few months ago I, 27 male, started talking to a girl, 24 female, I work with as a friend. After talking for a couple weeks, she told me she had had a crush on me since she started working there, and I told her I had one on her too. Then she told me there was a problem with us getting together and that she shouldn't have said anything. After I pressed her for what it was, it turns out she had a boyfriend that she had been wanting to break up with for a while but didn't know how and was scared too. We started hanging out as friends with the goal of getting together once she was single, but didn't so much as touch each other, just doing things as friends. A couple weeks later he actually ended up getting so angry with her that he broke up with her and she moved in with her mom, who lives out of a hotel, temporarily. During that time she invited me over and we spent the night together while her mother stayed at a friend's house. A couple days later, as I was driving to work, her BF texted me from her phone basically threatening me and telling me she was quitting her job to go back with him. A coworker and I drove over to the hotel right away because it sounded like she was being kidnapped, and talked to her mom while they were obviously outside in his van. She called me on my phone to tell me to leave because I was just making it worse by being there and not wanting to upset her. We left after getting her mom's number. Apparently he threatened to stab me with a screwdriver. Later that night around 3 a.m. she called me telling me she was walking down the road with just a couple of bags and her dog in her pajamas in the freezing cold, and that he had been following her, swerving near her with his truck and screaming at her. Her mother picked her up and brought her to my house so I could drive her to work because she had been using his car and didn't have one of her own. The next morning he showed up at our work waving a pipe wrench around, screaming that we were promiscuous people and that she should come and talk to him outside. The police were called but took forever and another call to get there, by which time he had left. He texted he later to apologize because both of yous could have been fired, but at the time I knew he wasn't sorry, just realizing he would make it harder to manipulate her in the future by being obviously insane. Later, after she started staying at a different hotel close to work so I could give her a ride, she said he was coming over one night so they could talk. She told me the next night after I questioned her about why she was feeling so down and depressed that she had had sex with him while he was there before she had decided for sure that she wanted to be with me. I was pretty upset, but technically she didn't do anything wrong because we weren't officially dating at the time and we talked it out and were okay. A few months later they had been hanging out occasionally, which she always told me about in advance, but I noticed she always put on makeup the morning of before texting me later after I had gone to work. I told her I was feeling insecure about it, but she said they were just friends and I trusted her. About a week ago she told me we should just go back to being friends and that she couldn't handle being in a relationship right now because she needed to find an apartment and a car, and I was pretty upset, but I understood. Then her ex sold her his car and I thought something was up but didn't say anything. I convinced myself it was in my head. She texted me on Friday saying we should stop hanging out altogether, that she was going to be quitting and moving away soon anyway. I talked to her when I saw her and brought up how she always seemed to put makeup on when she was going to hang out with him, and just straight up asked if she was getting back together with him. She said no and got angry at me and said she didn't want to talk to me again. I was able to talk to her and got her to a place where she was laughing at my jokes again, and we went out to get food after work. We sat and watched TV on my phone in her car while we held hands and ate, and we kissed. I decided to give her some space for the weekend, but she texted me on Sunday telling me she had lied and that she was getting back together with him and that she was sorry for sending me mixed signals. She blocked me right after sending that text, which I can only assume was because he told her to. I've mentioned his manipulative and controlling, right? Here's the thing, I don't think they were mixed signals. She knew on Friday that she would be getting back together with him, but she still held my hand and kissed me that day. I made a joke on Friday about us moving in together so she didn't have to keep living out of the hotel, and she got this happy little smile but wouldn't tell me why. She knows they don't work as a couple, they've tried twice and it has ended badly twice. This time I'm worried it's going to be worse because I know she doesn't want to be with him and is going to resent her for being with me. I know it's going to fall apart and I want to say something and tell her, but anything I would say would be just as manipulative as he is, even without me trying to be. It would be manipulating her decision. I want to be there for her when it goes horribly wrong, but the waiting is killing me. I just don't understand why she would ever go back to him. He's so ill-treating and an awful person, and I was nothing but supportive. Her parents and sister both hate him and the way he treats her, and the rest of her family hates him too. Her mom said she can tell she misses me. I'm just not sure what to do because I can't help her make the decision to leave him, but it feels wrong to not even try helping. Any advice is welcome. TLDR, girlfriend broke up with me to go back to offensive ex after I was nothing but supportive and have done everything in my power to make her happy. The thing you need to know is, this is not about you. This is about her fear and whatever emotional hold he has on her. You can tell her you'll be there for her if she comes to her senses about him. You can be a safe space for her. But honestly, at the end of the day, she has to want to be free of this guy more than she wants to be with him, and until that's the case, nothing you do matters. Stop with the KISA, knight in shining armor, act man. She made her choice. It honestly does not even sound like you were dating from your post. She will have a lot of baggage coming of this relationship with her BF. Best to turn away, and if she asks for help in the future, direct her to the nearest women's shelter. If she has chosen her spiteful ex over you, who have been loving and supportive towards her, then she's an idiot. Stay away from this silly person. Worldwide comments of the day. Never make excuses for a cheater, she will burn you. Ghost her. Never forgive, never forget. First story. I don't get it. Does it matter on what she did before she dated him? The fact she is able to keep lying over and over again would make me walk away. If she can lie about something she did before they met, what else can she be lying about? To me, lying about screwing men in long relationships before they met was not as bad as lying to him about it. Second story. A classic case of, if they cheat with you, they will cheat on you. Second story. What's the saying? When the AP marries or goes LTR with the cheater, an opening is made. Hope OP doesn't contact that old boyfriend. It's in the past, everyone has moved on. If he wants to relieve his guilt, get a therapist and don't visit his guilt/pain on that man to make himself feel better. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and relatable Reddit videos.